Yeah, great. Okay then, without further delay, let's get started. So again, introducing myself, I'm Gayatri and I have Nidhi along with me who will be guiding you on basics of Python today, the continuation of the class which we took yesterday and the previous week. So yeah, so without any delay, let's get started. Guys, let me know if my voice is low or is not audible, okay? Is my screen visible? Yeah, cool. So, part of basics of Python, what all we went through already is we understood how we can take inputs. We understood about variables and data types. Then we understood how to take input and print output on the screen. Then we understood how we can change the type of variable, how we can do the typecasting from one data type to other data type, how we can change. Then we went into operators and understood the operators in Python, how we can execute them, and also how we can actually calculate them, right? Then we understood about strings. This is the last topic which we discussed, right? Anybody who is having any questions for us till here until this topic? Okay, the first question should be, anybody of you after the session, did you practice what was discussed yesterday, or you were just like, okay, you are with me, and then after the session you just left it? Did you practice something? Did you try to do something new with what I've taught? Okay, no response. Okay. Are you all with me, guys? Girls. Okay. Only for this year response. So it means that nobody practiced or just went through the topics which was discussed yesterday. Okay, I got the conclusion. Anyhow, so how do you find the length of a string? A quick recap on strings. How do you find the length of a string? Length. Don't just write, okay, fine. How do you find if a given substring is present in a particular string or not? Just don't say find. How do you write find is most important. Okay, you know that there is a method called find, but you don't know how to write, then it's a problem. Right. So it is the string in which you want to compare dot find, and in brackets you will give the in quotes you will give the string, the substring which you want to find in the main string, right? Yes. Then what is slicing? What is slicing? Breaking the string into parts, getting a part of a string, taking part. Okay, awesome. Printing the required part from the whole string. Okay, great. How can I slice my string? Using index. Great. Okay. I mean, like how do I do it? Yes, you give in which string you give the square braces, you give the start index, colon, you give the end index. always the last index plus 1 you should give, right? Just to get the entire string. Otherwise, the last index, whatever value you are giving, that will get skipped, right? Awesome. Okay, so yeah, so more or less, I think you got a glimpse on what are strings. So the next topic which we are going to discuss is conditional statements. Okay, so now you know how to you know how to break the string, you know how to play with the strings. But if you have to write, if you have to control the flow of the program when a particular input is coming or when a particular thing has triggered, I don't want my, I don't want a single like same response always. When it is Gayatri, I want to say hi Gayatri, and when it is Nidhi, I want to say hi Nidhi. How do you do it? Okay, so based on the value, I want my output to be changed. Okay, so this can be done using the control statements. Okay, so it controls the flow in which your program is moving. Normally, how the program moves from top to bottom, right? From the first line, it moves down each and every line, it checks and it prints, right? But in between, if you want few lines to be skipped based on some condition, or if you want few lines to be iteratively printed, okay, or you want some action to be iteratively printed, what? How do you do that? To perform all these actions, you have something called as conditional statements. Okay, so in this you have, conditional statements and also loops included, right? So I will talk about each one. So I hope everybody has launched your Jupyter notebooks, right? Did you all launch them? Great. So let's go to Jupyter notebook and then let's do the remaining part in the Jupyter notebook. Okay, so today I'm going to discuss first about the conditional statements. Okay, now how many of you here are already aware about C, C++? I mean, okay, let's not ask like this. Let me ask you a question. Who is not at all good in programming or who is not good in C, C++, or doesn't know any of the programming languages? Please raise your hands or just send a message in the chat. Who is not aware of any of the programming languages? Not even one. Okay. So no response in the sense everybody is already aware of the programming languages, right? Okay, then my task is a little easier. So let's go and understand conditional statements. The first one which we are going to see today is if loop. Okay, if statement I would say. Okay, so what is if statement? What is if statement going to do? If statements takes a condition and if the condition is true, it performs a specific task, else it does not do it. Okay, so now let's go and write a simple, let's understand how do we program it in Python. Okay, so first let me take let me take a input from the user. How do I take an input from the user? Using the input function. Okay, so I will take some input from the user and I will say if input is equals to Lalita, okay, so I write if and then I write the condition in brackets. Okay, now normally traditionally in your programming languages like C, C++, Java, how do you write a if loop? Quickly give me the syntax of if statement. I'm saying it as loop. I'm sorry. If statement. Okay, if condition. That's there. Then what? Then how do you write? Ah, come on. If condition, then that's it. Yes, Uma Maheshwari is right, and Srinita also. So if we write the condition, we open the curly brace and we write the body of the if, like what statements has to get executed, right? So what until unless those braces are there. Like I am writing in other programming languages. So how do you do? I write like this, and inside this I write the statements, whatever I want. Okay, I write my statements. Now what happens? Whatever is there inside these curly brackets, all the statements in between, like statement 1, statement 2, all these statements will execute when only when this condition is true. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so then how do we write the same thing in Python? We know we don't have this difficulty of putting the braces. Okay, so like it always happens for us, right? We write the code and we forget one of the bracket, and then it throws an error. We don't understand what that is. So Python is always developer friendly, as I told you on the very first day of the session. So you need not have this count of how many brackets you have opened, how many you have to close and all. It's as simple as this. I have written if, I wrote what condition I want, okay? If n equal to Lalita, then what am I trying to do? I have to open, like you open the curly braces, I need to open a block, right? The statements which have to get executed when if is true. I put in colon, okay? This colon indicates the start of your block. What will it indicate? Oh, okay, yeah. Is it fine? Is this font size enough? Or you want me to? Yeah, okay. So what am I trying to do? I write if, I write my condition, okay, and then I put a colon. This colon, what does it do? It says there is a block which is going to get started. That means all the statements, like after this colon, okay, and there is one more thing which I'll be telling. After this colon, it says there is a block which is going to start. Now when I hit on enter, what is happening? What is happening? A space by default is coming. Now let me show you once again. I remove this colon, I hit on enter. Where is it going? To the start where I is there, right? Now I go back, I put a colon and then hit on enter. Now it is going down like below n, right? My cursor is below n. So in Python, we have a concept called as indentations. This indentation is a space which is given to tell that this is all a part. This is all. All these statements belong to one particular block. Are you understanding what I mean? So now, if I write 100 statements below this, if I say hi Lalita, okay, for suppose, and then I say print inside, okay, inside if, okay, I wrote 2 statements, and you see both of them are inside the if. Are you seeing? If is starting here, and my print statements are inside if. So until unless I'm maintaining this space, okay, maintaining this space, all these statements will be inside my if only. Only if this condition is true, then it will enter inside this. Got it, everybody? Now, let me go down. You might ask me, ma'am, then how do I end my block? I've started my block using a colon. Because I put colon, every time it is giving me a space before. Then how do I say my if block has ended here? You need not do anything, just click a backspace. Your cursor is now below I again. Did you see? It is aligned with your program, the main program's lining. Okay, and now here you write some statements which are general. For suppose I'll say outside if. Got it? Got it, everybody? Any questions? Okay, let's execute this and see. It is asking me to give an input. I'm giving it as Lalita. And it says, hi Lalita, inside if, indentation, and then it says outside if, right? Because this is like normal execution of program. Now let me show you, let me execute this again. Now this time I give maybe Nidhi and then I hit on enter. What is it doing? Because this condition is false, automatically all these statements are not getting executed and directly the statement which is outside the if getting executed. Yes or no? Clear? Clear everybody? Yes. So now, ma'am, this is fine. But did you observe all of you? This print statement got executed. This outside if print statement got executed even if the condition was true and also when the condition was false. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. But we don't want that. We want these statements to be executed when the condition is true, and we want another set of conditions statements to get executed when the condition is false. How do I do it? How do I do that? So let me copy all this because I don't want to type again. Okay. Now I paste everything here. Okay. The same thing. Now, previously we discussed only about if. Now we are going to talk about if else. Got it? Yes, whoever has answered, kudos to all of you. Now, what I do after my if, like if statements are done, I hit on enter, I click on backspace, and here I write else. I write else. So this means if this condition is true, execute these lines. And if not, if these conditions are not, if this condition is not true, then go to the else block, again start a block, hit on enter, you get the indentation again, and then write your statements here. I'll say, hi Nidhi. Okay, I would say print inside else. Okay, right? Now, now let me execute. I'm giving Nidhi here and hit on enter. Did you see? Already it went into else block. Else statements got executed and then it came outside the if. Done? Understood till here? Any questions? I think the font is the font too big or it is like okay? You want me to reduce or increase? Because I don't think all the statements are visible to you at a time. Fine, let me go with this then. Okay, so this is about if and else if. Okay, ma'am, you said, yeah, one condition is there. This is fine. I have only one condition to execute. But then what if I have two or few more conditions? Then what do I do? Yes, I write the else if. That is elif in Python. Okay, awesome. So you all know this, everybody? Great. So somebody send me a little code wherein you are going to say hi if the name is Lalita. Okay, hi Lalita, you have to say. And then you need to say else if the name which you are taking from the user is Nidhi, you should need to say hi Nidhi. And if anything else is coming up, you just need to say hi guest. That's it. Quickly code and send me. Let's see who does this first. And Lalita. Okay. Hey, Shravani, do you think it's right? Just check it, Shravani, and get back. Do you think it's right? Minimize the screen. My screen. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Great. So first one is Harshita. So I would say kudos to you, Harshita. Then we have others also who are responding. Chitra, yes, you are right. Aisha, awesome, but P can't be capital. Huh? Okay, I understand. It's okay. Then Manalika, inside else. Okay. So this lady, not Lalita, maybe. Okay, great. Then Gayatri. Okay, so everybody else seems to be writing the code correctly. Kudos to all of you. So quickly, just to make things a little more clear, I am also writing. So how do you write? Okay, so if, elif, and then else. Okay, so if n is Lalita, this is the condition 1. If this is true, it will execute these 3 lines. Else, elif, again I need to give the condition, and my condition here is if n is Lidhi, I would say this one. Okay, and else I would say hi girls. Okay, now I execute this and I write Harshita. So it says hi girls inside else. Right? It's very simple, right? Do you see any difficulty here? Anybody? Any questions for me? Any questions for me? No. Only a single no. So what does that mean? Remaining everybody else is having. Great. Okay. So just to make things a little more clear, I will write the syntax of if and if else, whatever it is. If condition 1, okay, and then if this condition 1 is true, I would give a little indentation and I would write the statements. Come on. Statements, whatever is there. Then elif condition 2, then again statements. Statement which has to be. Can you type double quotes? Yes, Aisha, you can. And then you have else. Okay, so else doesn't need any condition. Okay, so you can have n number of elif in between. Okay, it's not necessary that you need to put only one elif. you can have n number of ellipses in between, right? So I hope this is clear. Yes or no? So this is the syntax of the if, elif, else. Okay, so you can use this wherever in the program you require. Okay, so now let's go and understand the looping statements. Let's go and understand the looping statements now. Let me put a mark down. Okay, so in Python you have two types of looping statements. What are they? While, for. While and for. Okay. So along with this, we will also learn about else suit. Okay, so that which I will explain you going further. But yeah, so for now we are going to discuss about while and for. Okay. So now let's say I need to print values from 1 to 10. Okay, so will you go sit and write 1, 2, like you will write print 1, print 2, print 3 like that? Will you do that? Definitely not, right? So we want a statement, like we want a, we want something which can do task iteratively, right? So that is where we come into the looping statements. So let's understand while first. How do I write a while loop? I will have while. I'll write while. I'll give the condition, whatever it is. Now again, which statement should be repeated until the condition is false? That you need to mention. So those set of statements, what you will do, you will put it in a block. And to put something in a block, how do you stack? You put a colon first and hit on enter. So everything which is having this indentation is going to be executed iteratively until this condition becomes false. Yes or no? Right. So now what I will do is I will say I equal to 0. Okay. And here I will write I less than or equal to 10. Okay, let's start with 1 maybe. Okay, less than or equal to 10. Now I will say print I. Okay, so is this it? Will this print from 1 to 10?
No, ma'am, we have to increment I after print statement.
How do I increment it?
I plus equals to 1.
Why not I plus plus? Somebody is in chat saying I plus plus. Why not I plus plus? Oh, there was some voice. Girls, in Python, we don't have increment and decrement operator. Okay, so if you run this just like this, it will result in an infinite loop because I is always 1 and 1 is always less than 10. So it will result in an infinite loop printing 1. If we don't want it to go into infinite loop, what do we have to do? We have to increase I value every time, right? And for that, what do you write normally in C, C++ or Java? You write I++ or I minus minus to increment or decrement, right? But coming to Python, you don't have increment or decrement operators. So now if I run this, what is it saying? It's saying invalid syntax. That's the reason you use the assignment operator. Plus equal to, we read this yesterday, right? Yesterday we studied about the assignment operator. So what does this statement mean? What does this statement mean? I equal to I plus 1, right? So what am I doing? In every loop, first I am printing whatever the value of I is. Then I am saying I equal to I plus 1, which will increase my I value by 1. It will go back. It will check the condition, and if until this condition is failing, these statements will be executing. Okay, so now let's run the cell and you get the output. Okay, got it? So now what is the change which I have to do in this code to print everything one after the other rather than one below the other? Tell me, what is the change which you have to do in this program to print numbers one, like in a horizontal way, one after the other rather than one below the other? Come on, girls. We studied this already. Hey, okay, let me scroll up for you. Maybe seeing the above codes, you might remember something. Do you remember anything? Yes, we need to put. Okay. Aisha, you are like great. You are saying somewhere. You write somewhere, that's enough. Okay, fine. So, what I do in my print statement, I'll say comma and equal to, in single quote, the double quote, whatever, I put a space. And then now when I execute, I get everything one next to other rather than one below the other. Guys, remember all this. You shouldn't forget. Okay, so I'm just not telling because I want to refresh my knowledge. I'm telling because I want to put something in your brains. Okay, remember, if you have to, if you don't want your print statement to go to the next line, rather the cursor should lie in the same line, then you write end equal to and give whatever you want. Okay, a space or a comma or either it whatever. Okay, so each and every print statement, if you don't mention this end, it will move to the next line. It will automatically take the cursor to the next line. Instead, you are placing your cursor with this end statement. Got it, everybody? All of you. Clear till here? Okay. Now, moving further, so this is a simple execution of, what is this? While loop. Then I also talk about for loop. So how do you write a for loop normally in your C, C++, whichever language you know?
For initialization statement and a condition and an update statement. Inside, we write statements.
Okay, great. So what you write normally is you write for, you do some initialization, and then you write a condition, and then you write the update, whatever updates you need to do, and then you open the block. Inside this, you will write the statements. Right? This is how your for loop is normally. Yes or no? So in Python, we did not do all such drama. Okay. So what you do, you write for. Okay. Which variable you want to iterate? For suppose I want to iterate I. Okay. In, and I give some iteratable object like a string or a collection. Okay. So when I say for I in Lalita, print I, let's say. Okay, so what is happening? It is simply putting I, like, you know this operator. What is in? You tell me. What is this operator in? Membership operator, right? So what does it check? Normally in what does it check? It checks whether this particular value is present. I mean, like, whether a particular value is present in this or not, right? So when I say for I in, what will it do is, in this particular object or a collection, it will pick each value and store in it, and then do the operations which are inside the loop. Understood, everybody? Understood this? Now, ma'am, then if I have to say I want to print numbers from 1 to 10, how do I do it? There is a function called range. Okay, so now let's write that. For I in range function will do what? It will take two numerics. Okay, the first, okay, let me say only 10. Okay, let's go from the beginning. I say for I in range of 10. Okay, and I go inside and print I. Let's see what it comes. What is the output of this? Let's see. Okay, and I execute this. What is happening? Starting from 0 until 10, excluding 10, starting from 0, excluding 10, all the numbers are coming. Did you see? Did you understand this? Excluding, always remember it is excluding the number which you gave. So from starting from 0, excluding the number which you gave, till there whatever number is there, that will get printed. Okay? Now, I want to print from 11 to, okay, I want to print 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's it. Then what do? I don't want to start with 0. Then what I do is I say range of, where's my first? I say range of, I give 11, comma, I need to print 15 also, right? Because I need to print 15 also, I give 16. That is plus 1. What is the value I want? Plus 1. Now when I execute this, it will print me 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 as I required. Done? So what is this range function doing? What is the range function doing? Somebody is about to say something.
Ma'am, it increments the sequence by 1.
Rather than saying that, range function will give me values in the given range. Got it? Values in the given range. Yes, it will give me values which are in the given range. Okay. Now, by default, okay, now let's say I want to print 12, 14. Okay. It is printing 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I don't want all this. I want to print, okay, maybe 11, 13, 15. How do I do it? You add another comma and put a 2 here. Because difference between each number is what? 11, 13, 15. 13 and 11, the difference is 2. 15 and 13, the difference is 2. Okay. So I add 2, I write 2 here and then I execute this. I got 11, 13 and 15. So what is this called? I told you yesterday. What is this third variable called? What is this third variable called? It is called the step count. By default, the step count is 1. That is, it increments by, increments by 1, plus 1. It does a plus 1 always. But if you mention a specific value here, it starts incrementing by this. Got it, everybody? All of you clear? Any questions, anybody? Did you understand the range function? People from EC, Triple E, because CSE people might catch this a little quickly, but what about the EC, Triple E students? Are you all able to understand? Are you all following me? Great. Thank you very much for the response. Yes, awesome. So can you give negative indexing here and like negative step count? So if I have to print from 20 to 10, numbers 20, 19, 18, 17 like that, how do I write my for loop? Quickly. I want to print 20, 19, 18, 17, 16 like that until 10. How do I write the code? 20, comma 10, comma minus 1. Soumya, please check your code 10, comma 21, comma minus 1. How will that work? Bindu, you have completely changed the what is this? Your syntax only. For after for you don't have a bracket. I think. Please check. Chitra, do you think 10? If you give 21 to 11, 10 will also get printed. Let's see. Okay, Bindu. Okay, Bindu has corrected her code. Ramya has sent another. Ramya says 20, comma 11, comma minus 1. When I say 20, comma 11, comma minus 1, will 10 get printed? Will 11 get printed? Someone with the same question for you. Will 10 get printed? What happened? Shravya. I did not understand your question, Shravya. Pardon me. I say 20, comma 9, and I give the step count to be minus 1. Now when I execute, I got all my values. For the people who are saying 10 and 11, if I give 10, it will not print 10. And if I give 11, it will not even print 11. Okay? So you should give 9 here in order to print. Okay, Shravya is asking me some question. Like this. Okay, minus 2, when you do, what will happen, you tell me? When I give minus 2 here, rather than minus 1, what happened? It decrements by, right. What's the question there, Shravya? Any problem you're facing? Okay, awesome. See, girls, remember you write your increment statement like in your loop, in your while loop, you wrote here, right? I plus equal to 1. Do you think always you need to write 1 only here? Based on your requirement, I can write 1, 2, 5, 10, minus 1, minus 2, anything, right? I can write anything here. When I can write anything here, the similar way I should be able to do it for, for loop also, right? So for that, this step count is useful in case of range. Okay, in case of range, this step count is useful. You can increment your range or decrement your range by the given number which you are giving here. Got it, everybody? Any confusion anybody is having, you can ask us now. I give you quick 1 minute for the question. Strings, how do you slice it? Range and strings are. Like for what, Srinita? I did not understand. Like what will be your requirement there? Like you will say A to B. Okay, cool. Then, so I don't see any questions other than Shinta's question. So anybody else, any question for me? I said 1 minute and I gave you 2 minutes, maybe. No, I gave 1 minute only. Okay. Shall I proceed? Okay. So meanwhile, everybody write a code to display even numbers from 1 to even numbers from 1 to like okay 10. Okay. In the range, 1 should be included. Huh? You don't write. Don't start your range from 2. Start your range from 1, and tell me how you can. Monalika, I was sharp. I told you all the way. You can't start with 2. 1 to 11 are equal to. Yes. Harshita, just see your code here. Because see what happens in your code, just check that out, Harshita. Okay, so when 1 is there, 2 is getting printed. But when I value is 2, what will it get printed? It will print 3, right? So rather than getting only even values, you will get odd values also. Please check. Soumya, what is it? You put a colon in range. What do you put? Just check. Okay. Great. So all the others, I got the right answer. So what you do, you simply write for I in range 1, comma 11, and then if I modulo 2 is equal to 0, you will print the I value. I'm not writing this code because it's you who have to do this, right? Aisha, you gave some other code related to what you are trying to do. Okay, anyhow. Okay, so that's how you print. I was trying to teach you also writing if inside the for. That's the reason I just asked you to write this code. Anyhow, you all understood this, right? No, okay, it was by mistake. No problem. Shall we move further? Now let's say I have to print from 1 to 10, but I don't want to print 5. All the other values I need to print, but I don't want to print 5. How do you write it? I have to print 1, 2, 3, 4, then 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. How do I write it? Come on. If I not equal to 5, then print I. Okay. Okay. So Akhila says if I equal to 5, continue. Okay. So I wanted to introduce this new control statement, which is continue. Okay. So how do I write this? For I in range from where? From 1 to 11. Even from, ma'am, can you please execute even number from 1 to 10? Yes. Okay. So for I in range 1 to 11, first I'm writing the even numbers program. Okay. So I will write even numbers. And then I'll say colon. I go inside. I say if I modulo 2 equal to 0, colon, I get inside the if, and then I say print hi. Got it? Now when I execute, I get only the even numbers which are from 1 to 11. Ramya, is it okay? So what did I do? I wrote a for loop which is ranging from 1 to 11. So it will print normally, it will, in I, each time the loop iterates, it will have numbers from 1 to 10. First time it will have 1, it will get inside, it will see the if statement. If 1 modulo 2 equal to 0, which is false, and because 1 modulo 2 will be 1, right? So it is false. So it will increment I by 1. Go here, I becomes 2. 2 modulo 2 is 0. So it will print 2. Then it will increment by 1. 3 modulo 2 will give 1, so which is not equal to 0. So it will increment because this condition is failed, it is not going to print. We go to 4. 4 modulo 2 is 0. So 4 gets printed. Then it becomes 5. 5 modulo 2 is 1, which is not equal to 0. So it will increment. 6 modulo 2 0. And so on and so forth. Understood, Ramya? Awesome. Now, what's the next program? I don't want to print 5. The remaining things I wanted to print. Okay. So printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. For suppose if I have to do this, how do I write? I say I say for I in range 1 comma 11, I put colon. So this will get the range values from 1 to 10. I get inside. I'll say if I equal to 5, then what I'm doing? I am continuing. I say continue. Okay. Done. I come out of the if and I'll write print I. You can either write it print I or you can say like in else. Okay. So now when I execute this, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what is continue doing basically? What will continue do basically? When I write continue, it will skip that particular iteration. Okay, so that particular value it will skip. That particular loop it will skip. Okay, so this is one way, it will skip the loop. Okay, skip the iteration. Rather than loop, I should say iteration. Okay, it will skip the, yes, Chitra, it will skip the current iteration. Right? Now, skip the statements below it, whatever you say. Okay, after this statement, rather than going and checking the next statements, from here it will directly go and update the I value. Okay, it will go to the beginning of the loop. Awesome. Okay, so that is what continue does. Now I will write another set of lines, and here instead of continue, I will say break. What will happen if I write break? It stops. It stops the complete loop. Okay, it will not skip the iteration. It will stop the loop completely. Right? Now when I execute this, what happens? I get 1, 2, 3, 4. When 5 is there, it will go inside and it will break the loop and it will come out. Got it? Got it, everybody? So this is about the break statements. Now, let me write another set of code, little code. Okay. And here, instead of break, I will write pass. If I write pass, what will happen? What is the output of this? One to 10, all numbers. Right. So let me execute and show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nothing has changed. So pass is something like if you want inside a particular loop, if you want some no operation to perform, no operation has to get done. Okay, so you are not making any change. Then this pass will be used. Okay, so it does nothing. It does nothing, absolutely nothing. Based on few use cases, at times there will be a requirement. Then you just pass the statement. Okay, so we rarely use it, but yeah. We don't want any operation. That is what we mean by that there. Okay, so nothing is going to happen. So this is one more statement, which is pass. Okay, so what all we understood now? We understood break, we understood continue, we understood pass. The next statement is assert. Assert also we will understand. So now what I will do, I will write another set of little code. I will say, let us take an input from the user. Okay, I will say input from the user. Let's take an integer because I don't want to write a lot of code. Okay, let me take an integer. I will say enter integer from 1 to 10. Okay, I would say enter integer from 1 to 10, or I'll say integer greater than 0. Okay, now whenever somebody enters a negative value or 0, I want to prompt them, or I don't want to prompt them, I want to give an error saying you are entering a wrong value. I want to give them an error. Like we get the syntax errors, right? In a similar manner, I want to give them an error. Yes.
Ma'am, if I use the pass and else and 5 is skipped, ma'am.
Sorry,
I'm
your
using
voice is
pass,
breaking
ma'am.
here.
I'm now it's clear, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Ma'am, I'm using and else I'm keeping print high, ma'am. Hello.
Okay.
In that case, 5 is not printing, ma'am, if I'm using pass.
Definitely, when this condition is true, it will go. It will pass. Okay. And then it sees else will not get executed, no dear. See, when will else get executed? Only if this condition is false. Yes or no? Did you get me? See,
No, ma'am, once
yes, I will repeat it. See, her doubt is, I write else like this. She wrote else. This is what the code she wrote, I think, right? This is what you wrote. Yes?
yes, ma'am.
Yes. So now let me execute this. What is happening? 5 is not getting printed. She is asking me if I write pass, 5 is not getting printed for me. Why is it not getting printed? When will this else get executed? You tell me. When the statement inside else will get executed?
If it is
Only
not equal to 5,
When if
yes,
this
only
condition is not true, then it will get executed.
yes, only if this condition is false, then it will go into the else, right? When I equal to 5 is there, this condition is true, so it passed. Okay, so why will it enter into the else loop and print? Did you get me?
yes, ma'am, I got it.
Okay, so that's the reason 5 is not coming. It's not because of pass. It is because of the else which you wrote. Okay, so if you want, you can write after pass. I just write, oh, come on. I write inside the if, I write I. Okay, so now let's execute. Do you get it? Okay, so okay, so now I was discussing about something else. I was talking about assert. Anybody, any other questions? Think so, no? Yeah. So what I want to do is now, whenever somebody is entering a number which is not greater than 0, that is which is equal to 0 or less than 0, then what I do, I have to give them an error. Okay, I want to say that they have entered the wrong number. So what I write is, I write assert statement. Okay, assert statement, and I say, I write the condition for assert. Okay, I say x greater than 0. Okay, so this assert statement, if this condition is true, okay, sorry, not x, my value is n. So n greater than 0, then what I do, I write wrong input. Okay, so here what happens is, what happens is, if this condition is getting false, then this will get executed. Okay, so like if I give 1 is true, right? So this will not get executed. Let me show you. Let me give you an example and show you. I will say printf. Okay, now when I execute, it is asking me to give some value. I'm giving 4. So it is simply printing 4. Okay, nothing is happening here because n is greater than 0. Got it? If this condition is not failing, then all the other program will execute properly. Now let me execute it again and let me give 0. Now when I enter, it says an assertion error and it says wrong input. Got it? Did you understand? It is giving me an error. Even though it is not a syntax mistake, if I have to throw an error based on the value which the user is entering or based on some condition, if that is false, then I can do this. I can use assert statement that throws an error. Assertion error it throws. Okay? We have one more statement which is returned, which I will discuss while we are dealing with functions, not now. Okay. Now, shall I move further or shall I give you 1-2 minutes? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Girls, are you all there or I'm alone? Shall I proceed? Please let me know, girls. Everybody is able to follow this. EC, EEE people also. Because this basic is what is going to, make you understand AI ML properly. Okay, if you don't understand these basics properly, you can't code those. Okay, I am giving very, very simple examples here just to make you people understand how it works and all. But moving further, things will not be as easy as what I'm discussing now. Okay, so only if you understand with these simple examples, even if the situation is getting a little complicated, you can understand properly. Let us know now itself if you have any queries. Fine. So I see no questions being put up in the chat. So I will move further to the else suit. So now, always we have seen difference between pass and continue. Shravani, like continue will skip one particular iteration. Whichever iteration is currently happening, that iteration will get skipped. After the continue statement, whatever is there will not get executed. But coming to pass, it will not do any operation. Okay, it's just existing. That's it. Okay. Statements after the, like, you can write like whatever code is there after the pass also will get executed. Okay. Yes. So now moving further, I will be discussing about for and else while okay. I was asking you this question. Like, right? If a condition is failing in the if statement, what you write? You simply write an else, right? So if that statement is false, come and execute these statements, right? In the similar way, in for or while also, while you are writing some code, okay, after the condition fails, if you have to tell that you are out of the loop, out of the iteration, then what do you do? First, suppose for okay, I'll say for suit. Oh, it is not for else. Okay, so here what I write for I in range 5. Okay, I will say print I, and then after coming out of the for, I write else, and I say print outside for. Okay, so what will happen? And then here I'll write print program. Okay, so what will happen here? You tell me. Misplaced Elsa. Okay, let me execute. It's getting executed, Chitra. There is no error. Okay, so what is happening is whenever the for loop condition fails, then the for else, this else is specifically for. Okay, it is not for if. This is a for else suit where you can write a else statement for the for loop. Whenever the condition in the for loop gets failed, then it comes out and prints the else part, and then it goes into the execution of the program. Got it? After we discuss about list tuples and all, I will give you an example of why this else is required. Yes, Aisha. Yes, I can explain. What I will do is, okay, let's say for I in range of 5, let me take a string str, I'd say s equal to Lalita, okay, and 0 to 5, I say if I in s print s, or some lame program I'm writing, and then I will what I'll do, and I equal to 2, for suppose. Okay, this program makes no sense, but just because I want to explain you people, I'm just writing this. Okay, so now I execute this. Okay, this will actually not make any sense even if I write this much of code. Okay, I'll simply say print I. When I am executing the loops, no, like list, after I teach you list, I'll tell about else more. But for now, just understand. See, for loop gets executed, and at a point for loop, the whatever the condition fails, right? Now for I in range of 5. So what it means, from 0 to 4 it takes. Yes or no? From 0 till 4 it will take. After it takes 0 to 4, I am printing 0 to 4. Whenever I value becomes 5, I want to come out of the loop. I will come out of the loop automatically. And then I will print this whatever is there in the else loop. Whenever the condition fails, only then. Got it? Understood? Or let's say, let me give you an example. For I in S, okay, I'm taking each value in S, okay, and then I'm saying if I equal to, I'll give some value, what value which is not there here, okay, and I enter inside, I'll say print I, okay, and if it is outside, okay, so let's execute this, let's see what is the output, okay, you see what is happening here? It is taking each value in I, okay, in Lalita, it is taking each character of Lalita, it is comparing it with J, and if this is matching, it is printing. If it is not matching, it is saying like when the loop gets over, you should give some output, right, to the user. The condition of, or I'll inside instead of outside for, I'll say not for. Okay, so it means that that particular, and here I will say found. For suppose, okay. And now when I execute this, it says not found. Then now I understand, okay, this particular character is not present in my string. Got it now? What is the use of else? If I don't write this, and execute, directly it will go to the next line in the program. It will not give me any conclusion for this. Yes? So that's the reason this else is useful. Whenever the condition is failing, I am telling it why the condition has failed, or what's like after coming out of the loop, what you have to execute. That is the statement which you write in else. Got it? I hope I made sense. But if you still have any questions, you can ask. In a similar manner, you can write in while also. Okay, so now I simply say while I less than or equal to 5. Okay, and then I say print I, and I say I plus equal to 1, and I come out, I write in the else statement here, and I say print, oh come on, I say print outside 5. Okay, now when I execute, what happened? Is not supported. Oh, sorry. I equal to 0. Okay, previously I was having what? The string, right? So that you can't compare. So, okay. So this is going to say 0 to 5, and then it is going to print me outside while. Understood, everybody? Okay. So this is the else suit of while and for. You can use these to write the else condition for loops and while loops also. They need not be always for if only. It can also be there for while and for. Okay. Yeah, if you have for and while. Okay, so if you don't have these two also and you're trying to write else, then it will give an error. Rohita, is that clear? Awesome. So let's now talk about lists. What is a list? And let's go to collection objects and let's try to understand the collection objects. Okay. So today I'm going to discuss about list, and then maybe remaining things we will see in the further sessions. Okay. So I will again write a mark down. Okay, rather I will do heading. Collection data types. And yeah, first thing which we are going to discuss today is about list. Okay. So what is a collection data type basically? What did I say?
List tuple of dictionary and citations.
Sorry. Sujwa, you said something. This dictionary set tuple. Okay. Collection is a collection of elements. Okay. So till now what you were learning is ABCD of English. Now you are going to learn the sentences and words of English. Okay, I would make I would say this is as simple as that. Okay, in variables you can store only one character or one number at a time, right? So that is ABCD. Now coming to list, you can store group of numbers, group of letters, group of words. So this is a sentence or a word. Okay, so you have come up till sentences in your Python now. Okay, so first thing we are going to learn is a list. Okay, so list is a heterogeneous data type, I would say, which is like your array in C or C++. But in array, what happens? All your elements of the array should be of the same data type, right? Yes or no? So if you have an integer array, all the values in your array must be of type integer. But coming to list, there is no such restriction. Now let's see how to actually create a list, and then let's proceed further. So to create a list, I'll take an object lst equal to, and I will simply give brackets. Which is this? Which brackets we are going to use? For a list, we are going to use square brackets. Got it? Understood, everyone? Now I say print type of LSP and execute. What is it saying? It is saying this is of type list. Got it? All of you. Now let's see how do I write elements inside this. So I can write elements like this. I will say 10. Comma, the second element is 30. Comma, the next element is Lalita. Okay, the next element is, okay, I will, rather than saying 30, I will say 30.5. Okay, I don't want similar effects. I will say true. Girls, also remember, I see most of the students making mistake here, writing small t for true and saying, ma'am, this is not coming. Okay, so please remember, in Python, true is capital TRUE and false is capital F. Okay, always remember to make sure for true and false, the first letter is capital. Okay. So this is my list for suppose. Now I execute this and I print my list. Print list. Did you get it? So this value is of integer type. This is of floating. I mean, this is a decimal number. This is a string. This is a boolean. So a list can store heterogeneous data types. Got it? Everybody? Yes. Similarly, as we were doing for like if you have to check a particular value is present in the list or not, how will you do it? Which operator will you use? In. Yes. Kudos to Chitra. A quick answer from her. So the membership operator, to know whether a particular value is a member of this or not, you can use a membership operator. Okay. So to write the code simply, if Nidhi in LST print out, else print not found. Okay. Now when I execute, what is it saying? It's saying not found, obviously, because Nidhi is not there in my list. I have only 4 values in my list. Correct? Got it, everybody? Yes. So now, if I have to retrieve Lalita from my list, how do I do it? How do I retrieve Lalita from the list? LST of 0. Okay, let me try. Whatever you say, I'm going to try. LST of 0. And if I execute, what is happening? The first element is coming up. So if I have to get Lalita, what do? I give 2. Okay, and when I run, it gives me Lalita. So what did you understand from this? Even lists have indexing, and the index starts from 0. So 10 is assigned to index 0, 30.5 to index 2, Lalita to index, 30.5 to index 1, Lalita to index 2, and true to index 3, right? Yes or no? So this is having indexing, which we saw in, where did we see already indexing? In strings. While we were discussing strings, we saw indexing is possible, right? The similar way you can do indexing also in list. Okay. Now when you can do indexing, can you do slicing here? Can I slice my list into sublists? How do I do it? If yes. Using a colon operator. Colon, and if I don't specify anything, what will happen? It will give all the elements, remaining elements. And if I write the same thing and give like this 1:3, what will happen? Tell me, what is the output of this line? Print LST of 1:3, where my list is containing these values. If I say LST of 1:3, what will be the output? Okay, Chitra says 30.5, Lalita true. Samanvita says 30.5 Lalita, and Harshita says only 30.5. Swati, Sirisha, Uma, Soumya, everybody says 30.5. Chitra has changed her decision. Aisha says 30.5 Lalita. Yeah, all the others also are saying 30.5 Lalita. Okay, awesome. So let's execute and see what's the output. What's the output? 30.5 and Lalita. Because as always, the third index, if you give 3 here, this -1, till that index all the values are printed. So the first index value is printed, which is 30.5, and the second index value is Lalita, that is printed, and the third index is excluded. So these two will be printed, right? Yes? Now if I have to get the first element and the third element of the list, how do I do it? If I have to fetch the first element and the third element of the list, how do I do it? Quickly. Okay. So I would say print LST, or I would say colon. I would say colon. The first colon means starting from 0th. The second colon means till the end of the list. And after the second colon, if I just put 2 and execute, what is happening? Every second element is getting printed. So if you see my list is here, first this gets printed. Now the step count increases by 2. Plus 2 happens. Now index is here. And this gets printed. Plus 2 happens as nothing is there. It stays and prints the list. Got it, everybody? Any questions still here? Girls, I'm going a little fast in list because these things we have already discussed in detail in strings. Let me know if you are not able to follow. If you people are facing any issues, if you feel I'm going really fast, please let me know quickly. Girls, are you all able to follow? There is no response I see still. Anybody, any questions? Let it be small or big. Please let me know if you have any doubts. Do you have any doubts? Everybody, all the 81 strength which is there in the session, everybody is able to follow. Awesome, great, cool. Then, now how do I find the length of the list? How many elements are there in my list? How do I find? Ma'am, is list must contain square? Yes, yes, Ramya. When you write something in square bracket, it means that you are creating a list. Okay? Yes, Chitra and Harshita, you are right. To find the length of the list, what I will do, I will simply say len of and I give my list, whichever is there. And I execute. It gives me that my list is containing 4 elements. Now, if you have to retrieve each and every value of my list, how do I do? How do I retrieve each and every value of my list? Ramya is going to answer this question. Okay, Aisha. If not indexed, then what? Like, I want all the elements of the list to be printed. Print list. Okay. I don't want them to be printed as a like with these square brackets. You saw, right? Whenever I'm printing list, this square bracket is coming up. I don't want like this. I want only the elements to be taken out and printed. Swati, kudos to you. Swati is right. Okay, so let's see how is that done. I'll write for I in the similar way like we do for string. Okay, for I in LST, go inside the for loop and print I. Okay, now when I execute, each and every value is separated and is printed. Got it, everybody? All of you, did you understand? Okay. Now if I have these values, right? 4 values are there. If I have to delete what? Delete Lalita. How do I delete it? Del dot list. Okay. del dot list. Just try it, Aisha. Try and let me know what you are getting. Will del dot list work? Anybody else? Any more answers? Del dot list of 2. Okay. Dot. Okay. Okay. Let me show you. Okay. So there are two ways you can do it. If you know what is the value, if you know the value which you want to delete, then what you'll do, you'll simply say lst dot remove, and you will give the value which you want to remove. Okay. And now if I see the list, it is having only 3 values. If I do lst dot remove, and I can directly give my whatever I want to remove. Okay. Now if I have to add to this particular list, how do I do it? Okay. Let's see one more way. If I don't know the value but I know the index of it, then what do? I will say del of lst of, let's say, 1. Maybe I want to remove 30.5. Okay. And I execute this. Now if I print the lst, it is having only 2 values. Got it? There are 2 ways of removing. One is directly using the value, the other one is using the index. If you know the index, you will use del list and the index. If you don't know the index, you know the value which you want to remove, you will simply say list.remove whatever value you want to remove. Okay. Now, if I have to add an element to the list, how do? I do an append. lst dot append of, and I add Lalita. And now I print lst. lst has got added. Sorry, Lalita has got added. Did you see? Understood, everybody? All of you. Okay. Now let me create a list which is containing values from with some random values: 22, 30, 40, 33, 55, 77. Well, suppose this is my list. Okay, but suppose this is my list. Okay, now I have created my list. If I have to find out what is the minimum element of this list and what is the maximum element of this list, how do I do it? Okay, Ramya is asking, ma'am, can we add Lalita in middle? Chitra is asking, yes, you can add in a particular index, but it's not. Oh my God! But it's not through. It's not through append. You have to use a different function. Yes, Sinisha and Aisha are right. It is through insert. Okay, I'll show you insert in a while. But yeah, first let's see this. How can we find out minimum and maximum element of this particular list? What is the minimum element here and what is the maximum element here? To find out the minimum element, I will simply use a function min and I'll pass my list. And to find out the maximum element, I'll say max of list. Okay, so this will retrieve the minimum and the maximum element. Before I move further, I will tell you how to add a value at a particular index. Okay, so lst dot insert which value you have to insert and at which position you have to insert. So for suppose I have to insert at second position 22. Okay, I execute this. Now let's see my list. Did you see? 0, 1 and 2. In the second position 22 got inserted. Got it, everybody? All of you. Is it fine? Any questions, anybody? Okay, great. Now if I have to count a particular value is how many times a particular value is repeating in my particular list, how do I do it? How do I count? Like if suppose 22 is there, how many times 22 is occurring? How do I know? Yes, Harshita is right. I'll say LST dot count and I'll give which one I want to count. So I want to count 22. How many times 22 is there? And if I execute, oh my god, if I execute, it gives me 2. 22 is 2 times. So now let's say 33 and execute. It is 1 time. Okay? Now if I have to know the index where a particular value is present, then what do I do? I simply write lst dot index. Okay? And for which I want to know the index of 30, for suppose. Index is 1. Okay? And if I give 22, index is 0. So the first occurrence of the value, the index will be returned. Got it, everybody? Any questions anybody is having? See, girls, this is all English. Counting the number of times the value is there. So simple count. Count you say, right? Count 22 there. So you simply say count and brackets you're writing 22. I need to get the index. Please find out the index of something. So index is a function itself. So need not remember something else. If you know English, you know Python. That's it. Got it? All of you, are you all there with me or you're all lost already? Shri Harshini, where did you get disconnected? I was speaking about the count function. Count will take no, I mean like at which point while I was talking about what you got disconnected is what I was asking so that I can repeat from there. So like index function will do what? Index function will take the value and return the first occurrence index. So like if I give 22, it will see in list at which position 22, the first occurrence of 22 is present and return the index of 22. Count function will count number of times that a particular value is there in the list. Now if I say 32, 33, in my list 33 is present only once, so it will return 1. If I get 22, it will say count is 2. Okay, Shri Harshini, these are the only 2 things which I discussed after you got disconnected. Okay. Now, if I have to make a copy of my list, what do? I simply write another list L equal to lst dot copy. Okay. And if I execute, L will contain all the values of lst. Done? Got it, everybody? Now if I have to sort my list, what do? If I have to sort my list, how do I sort it? How do I sort my list? Again, simple. Sort. The word itself is sort. Need not write, remember something new. This sort. And if I just run this, and if I print L, L is in sorted order. But if I want this to be sorted in descending order, then what? Now it is sorted in ascending order. If I have to sort it in descending order, then what? How do I sort it in a descending order? Nothing. It's so simple. L dot sort, and then you write reverse equal to true. Okay. So now when I execute this and print L, it is in descending order. Got it, everybody? Is it easy or difficult? How is it? Understandable? Easy. Okay. Now let me print LST once. Okay, so LST is having values like this. I simply want to print this particular list in a reverse manner. How do I do it? I simply want to print my list in a reverse order. Whatever values are there, I want to print it in a reverse manner. I don't want to sort it or do anything. Yes, it is simple. Again, it is lst dot reverse. Okay. Now if I print lst, it is in the reversed order. Got it, everybody? So these are few functions which we use in list. Okay. There are many more functions which you can go and explore. These are the very important few things which I have taught you. Going further, you will be anyhow learning if there is anything new coming up. But these are the basic ones. Okay. So that's it for today from my side. If you have any questions, I'm open for that. Anybody, any questions, any doubts, you can put it to me. Shri Harshini ma'am, can you explain how to replace word without replacing it in the entire string? Okay. Did you try it, Shri Harshini, in the first place? How to take list as input, Harshita. Okay. What did you write and what is the output which you got? You can't write simple replace statement, Harshini, okay? So you need to write a little code for it and then you have to do it. Did you try anything or? Are you sharing the code, Shri Harshini? Harshita, how to take list as input? I will be dealing that in the next sessions, so don't worry. Okay. So just be patient until the next session, or otherwise you can give a try with your own knowledge. Okay. A dot replace is changing whole string, ma'am. Yes, definitely it will replace will change wherever that particular thing is found. Or otherwise, like your friends, what you can do if that is a single word before and after, you can add space and you can do it. But that's not the right way. So what you can do, like I will just give a hint for now. Okay, so you can split your particular string into, and when you split it, it will form into a list. And wherever that particular element is found, you can replace it. Okay, and then you can again form it as a string. Fine. So just try this way once. A dot replace will replace the entire string wherever that is found. Okay. So just try to find out a way like this. If not, I will do it in the next class. Please remind me. I'll forget because it's a week gap. So I'll definitely forget. Next week, if you can't find out, Harshita, I would say you also try taking input as a list and come back to me if you succeeded. Okay. And let's see if I have a better way than you. Similarly, Harshini, I told you a method right now, right? I don't know if you even understood, But just try to do that. If you did not understand, next class we will be taking up this first. Okay? Yes. Any other questions, people? Guys, I would say please write. If you write like lot of lines, if you start writing, if you start coding, only then you can understand. Just because Python is giving you inbuilt functions, don't rely only on them. Try to code without using those functions also. Okay? Only then you can handle the complex scenarios. Like, this is made for the easiest of the easiest things. But when the scenario becomes complex, these functions might not work as you require. So if you know how to code it manually also without using functions, then you will be good. Okay, so I would say code as much as you can, make as many mistakes as you can, see how many errors possible. After you see so many errors, then you will be confident. Okay, start seeing the errors, start understanding the errors rather. Okay, if you are getting error, no issues. Anyhow, we are going to meet every week, right? Next week you ask me, ma'am, I was trying to do this, I was getting this error. Can you tell me how to solve it? I and Nidhi will always be at your help. Okay? But please don't stop coding. Today is done, I am done with the class, and then you also go and take rest. No. Spend 10 or 15 minutes every day, I would say, just to refresh yourself with the concepts which we have learned. Only then you will remember all these functions. Otherwise, at the end, again, you will not understand which function for what you used. We have just discussed strings and lists. These two are almost similar, but after we go into tuples, dictionaries, and sets, you will have a lot of functions. You will not remember which has to be used. Okay, so please practice as much as you can. Rohita, last colon -1. Last term. You mean list? Okay. LST of colon -1. This one. Okay. What happened? What happened here? What's your doubt? See, same like strings. Okay, it is not very complex. It is similar to strings. Here, what is happening? Okay, so if I just print my list, I had 77 in the beginning. What am I saying? The first column, before the first column, there is nothing. After the first column, there is nothing. Which means I want all my list elements. Okay, I am iterating in all my list elements. And I am saying -1. So -1 in the sense, what will it do by default? Because the index is negative, it will go to the last index. Okay, it will print this one. It sees a -1, so it comes here, prints this one. -1 comes here, prints this one, and prints the entire list in a reverse order. Right? You might ask me, then why reverse is used? It's also used to reverse your string only. Okay. So you can either do it through this, or you can use your, to be very precise, this can be used when you have use cases like, I don't know how many elements are there even. Okay, I would say 1:4. Okay. Oh, sorry, it should be 4:1. So I'm becoming bad now. Okay. So now, what is happening here? From the fourth index, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. From the fourth index, I want till the first index and in a reverse order. First index is excluded. Okay, so what happens? 22, 40, 33. If I don't give -1, it will print 33, 40, 22. If I give -1, it prints in a reverse order. Reverse is for entire list, and this can be used for a part of list also when you give step count. That's the difference. Okay, I'm only asking question to myself and I'm only answering. This is ridiculous, but yeah, anyhow. Rohita, I don't know. Was your question about why reverse and why -1 or anything else? Why when nothing is mentioned in start and end it takes minus? Okay, when nothing. No dear, when nothing is mentioned it means it starts from 0 or from the if it is -1 it starts from the last index till the 0th index till the first index. If it is a +1, like if you also give this will work. Colon colon 1. Okay. It will print the list in forward direction. It means everything when nothing is there, by default 0 is there. If it is a positive step count, 0 is there. And if nothing is there, even between the two colons, then it means the last index is there. Okay, by default it takes the last index. And it does this step, whatever is there. Okay. And if it is a negative index here, like -1, it will go from the last index till the first index and does a minus step count. Did you understand that, Rohita? Okay. Any more questions? Guys, there are many more functions in strings and also list. Please go and explore those functions. Let me know if you have any difficulty in understanding any of them. Okay? If you have any questions, please put them quickly. Otherwise, we are good to leave. All of you, I don't see any response. At least say you want